That was just a thing being advertised. It happens more often than you think.
Particularly in my classroom, I see some weird stuff advertised. Like, this is a school. Why would you do that?
Especially some of the music videos that you should have.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't need you having the N-word in my class.
Especially when the person saying it looks like they belong in your class. Like, legitimately, they look way too young.
Yeah, that 12-year-old boy. I hope he just has, like, one of those diseases.
That's gotta be. That's
because the thing
gotta
is, like,
be.
if you cannot have, like YouTube, please tell me you're not condoning. Like,
they're totally condoning. You know it.
A middle school boy getting up there and cursing and saying racial slurs on YouTube ads, and my kids are seeing it when I'm trying to show them a dang instructional video. Ooh, Peter Edwards says he likes the Ruth video.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. About to get on and start playing in a second because I'm not going to be on long tonight, guys. I don't have the spirit for it tonight. Got some very upsetting news earlier. I'm really not in the mood to go long. I'm just not. So I'm going to just do a few matches, kill some time, answer a few questions, and then that's going to be it for me tonight. I wish I could say tonight's going to be fun, but yeah. Man. And I'll explain everything in a minute once more people are on that can hear, because I know that I'm going to get a lot. If I tell you now, I'm going to get a lot of people saying, "Oh, what happened, Raven? What's happened?" And I don't want to have to repeat myself 100 times, so I'll explain.
Fortunately, acting as chat moderator, I can drop it in chat.
All right, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate you being my chat moderator tonight.
Yeah, you do.
I'll actually make you chat moderator in a second when we get on there.
Sweet, I'm getting extra special privileges, you guys. Watch out. I will abuse power like nobody's business.
Type something in the chat so that I can get access to your name. And yeah, we're going Ruth starting off. This is my Ruth on PS4. Alright, so now you're going to be moderator.
Can I get an indication or anything? Should.
Well, it said that I just made you moderator.
I have power here. Yeah, I can put people in timeout. Look at you, Regulator 2000. You're the first to feel my abuse. Just kidding, you're fine.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tell you what's up. So every week, well, every Friday night, I get my schedule for the next week at work. And normally how it works is I get 2 days off sometime during the week, and I only work 1, maybe 2 doubles. Now, what a double is it means I go in the morning, usually around 11. I work until about 4, and then I get an hour break to come back in at 5 and work the evening shift. And on a weekday, we close at 10, so I will probably work until around maybe 9 o'clock. On a weekend, which is Friday or Saturday, we close at 11, so I will probably be there between 9 and 9:30. Maybe 10 if we're super busy. There we go. So that's usually what happens. And I don't mind that. It's a difficult schedule, but I can handle it. And I don't mind being helpful. I don't mind working a lot. That's fine.
You captured Zone C.
What's up with the lag all of a sudden? Well, anyway, for some reason he just lagged into that dodge, but whatever.
Some people like to play with their routers and to give them an advantage. I don't know if I heard what some people like to put like tinfoil over it when like to change.
Well, I don't see. Well, oh, actually, his latency is a little higher than the rest, so that could be something there.
There could be something.
But whatever the case, so I got my schedule tonight on what I have next week.
Sorry, somebody said you were a lagger. Legendary. Sorry.
Get out of here.
You captured
So next week I work Monday morning. I'm a double on Tuesday. And I'm off Wednesday. So far so good. Typical. I work Thursday morning. Not exactly what I want because I like my Thursdays free because I have Bible study that night. But hey, it's the morning shift.
Well, you're also have responsibilities in there too. So extra work is not calculated.
Pick up. All right, back to what I was doing. But then Friday, I'm a double. Saturday, I'm a double. And Sunday, I'm a double. Wednesday's my only day off. I have 4 doubles, 3 of them back to back, and on a Wednesday. I mean, not sorry, 3 of them back to back and on the weekend, which means that they're all going to be late shifts and very, very busy. And I checked the schedule to see if there was any way I could possibly just ask off for those nights, but I found out that is this just your plan, Shinobi? All right, just keep that up.
What if he's an Orphean?
How come I can't parry that?
Did you pay for Perry the Platypus DLC?
Crap.
Now you had her daughter. Right?
Yep, and she gonna die to this person, I'm sure.
At least I hope so. You've weakened it up more.
Oh wait, Raider just came in to help out Shinobi, so it could turn anyway. But regardless, that's what upset me because I've never had a schedule like this. I've never had to work 4 days, 4 days that were doubles, especially when they were 3 back to back.
And on a weekend.
And on weekend, I've never had only 1 day off on a week. Now, my theory right now is it's because this week I accidentally ended up getting 3 days off in a row. Because it was no fault of my own. They knew that I needed Thursday nights off. That was part of my agreement. And it was contractually obligated. It was part of the deal. That's right. Get out of here. Well, bye.
Yeah, sure. Let us heal up.
She's waiting on a friend to help her, but that gives me time to heal.
I agree. They better pay you good for this.
Well, they don't pay me. I get paid in tips.
Well, no, they're going to pay you because my math is right. You should be able to get at the very least 12 hours worth of overtime. So, no, they do have to pay you. And so, another reason this is kind of bumming us is because this is less time we have to dedicate to the channel and giving you guys content. So, it's kind of a double whammy. Not only is he going to be more worn out, he's not going to be able to play stuff. Because normally we have, like, we know we're typically going to get, like, a set amount that he has time to work with. And now part of that time, we know, is not going to be. They do not like letting you heal anybody. Great Marcus says, well, Raven, I understand what you're going through. Especially keep in mind Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Very good. Excellent. And the thing is, we understand that. It's just kind of like...
No, I understand. Here's the thing. Regardless of how this week turns out, I'm going to give it my best, and I'm going to do it with the right hard attitude. I'm not just going to walk in like a miserable piece of crap and just say, why do I have to be here? I don't want to be... I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. But I also don't want to be used. That's the one thing I hate more than anything in this world, where my good nature is used against me. Because they know at work that I want to give them my best, that I want to be a solid employee, that I want to give them my all in everything I do. They know that about me. That's not a secret. And I'm worried that they might be taking advantage of that.
Fortunately, we know they don't have a history of previous challenge. So I think we just need to lay down the law, because we do have some theories about why they're doing it this week as opposed to any other. But I don't want to divulge those theories until we know that. The guy's tracking saying he's been in a similar situation, so we know that.
You really shouldn't have done that, Raider. Wow, that Kyoshin got a little salty. Threw out his 4th feet against one person. That's kind of salt. I'm not gonna lie.
Down to this.
Yep, Kyoshin's got it. Kyoshin's gonna win. He's got more health, and he's gonna just spam his lights.
That was a close one, though.
Yeah.
Hard work is a value act, and then again, that's probably the problem the restaurant has.
Well, right now we have this problem at the restaurant where we have 2 servers about to go on maternity leave because both are pregnant. We have one who just turned in her 2-week notice, and we have 2 who just quit. They didn't even turn in a 2-week notice. They just said, "Yeah, we're not coming in. We're done. We quit." So we've lost 2 servers as of now. We're going to lose a 3rd one after next week, and we're going to lose 2 more sometime in the next month. We're bleeding for servers. We're bleeding for people to work, and I think they work me this much because they know that I want to go on the management track, so if I try to complain, the response is going to be, "Hey, you want to be a manager?"
Thankfully, they haven't done that to you.
Joe Don, my manager, did that to me first day. Because when I told him that I'd rather not work Friday night so that I could do For Honor Fridays, he said, "I'm afraid I can't do that. We need you. And hey, if you want to be a manager, you're going to have to learn to work weekends."
Indeed.
So he did pull that card.
At least they haven't pulled it since.
Right.
All right, but we have had a few interesting questions thus far. One of which is, do you think For Honor is worth it for new players to get into?
Yes. I think that For Honor is worth it for new players. I think that, obviously there's a learning curve. And I wouldn't recommend getting into multiplayer matches right away. I'd recommend fighting against the AI, doing the story mode, playing training matches, doing arcade, getting your feet wet with the content. I think that it's very much worth it. I think that it is a lot of fun. I think that it's still a game that really does hold up. I know that a lot of people will say it's garbage and trash, and I know that in a lot of ways it can be infuriating to some players because you'll have really bad matches when you know you should have done better. But I still think that it is worth it. I still think that it is a game very much worth picking up. I don't even know who to go. Let's go Kyoshin. Let's go Kyoshin just for fun. Alright, but yeah, that's my answer to that. I'm the only one that's not a heavy hitter. Yep. Zerg has a final attack that is unblockable and has hyper armor. He's the only assassin with hyper armor. I qualify him as a heavy hitter. Okay. Kyoshin, even though having a unblockable, is only accessible through one means, and doesn't have hyper armor. To me, a heavy hitter is either a person who can dish out a butt ton of damage with a single combo, or someone with massive hyper armor and heavy and unblockables. We've got Raider, Shugoki, and Hitakiri who meet all those. Griffin may not have an unblockable, but he has hyper armor and he has the potential to put out a lot of damage very easily. We have Highlander, Berserker, and Sanhu, all of who have the capability to pull out unblockables very quickly and have hyper armor and can have good countering capability. Kyoshin's only strength is in his All Guard, which gives him access to a light chain, but he requires his feats to make it truly effective.
Oh, and David W. says, "Bro, we're fighting you right now. That's crazy."
Who says that?
David W. I don't think his gamer tag is the same name as his YouTube name. But
Oh,
you're fighting against, like, I think the three of them are friends.
Oh, so we're fighting against David W. and his buddies. Okay. All right. Well. Yep. I expect trouble.
Okay. Let's see. Someone asked if you had ever worked with any special needs students while you were a teacher.
I did. I worked with a few special needs students with autism, Asperger's, plenty who were second language learners, and a couple of ADHD kids for sure. So.
There's always ADHD kids, but
they technically count.
Yeah, I know, but and there was a follow-up question that was, were they good students?
Some of them. Others were.
Stream sniping initiated. Stream sniping's a little harder to do in For Honor, particularly because when you get into combat on top, like it's a little bit harder to work with the optimist. So the stream we have up, there's about a good 5 to 10 second lag in between what's actually happening and what's being shown on YouTube.
Well, stream sniping works really well in games like Rainbow Six Siege, where it lets you see where they're hiding or what their plan is or what gadgets they've set up. And For Honor, it's a lot more difficult to make stream sniping viable. What are you what's the response?
That's one of your normal questions that you've made a video response.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Now it's alerting me I'm a moderator. It's like, oh, now They're asking which character you like the aesthetics of the most.
I've answered that plenty of times.
Yeah, but it's a little less than like,
Most of the knights I like. I love Warden's aesthetic. I love Black Prior's aesthetic. I love Lawbringer's aesthetic.
It's hard to beat Solid Plate.
Solid Plate Mail just does it, man. That's what it is.
To be honest, if a For Honor X Warhammer Fantasy event dropped, what would your reaction be?
I would have to. I would deliberately do a shout out to Ubisoft and say, "Where's my residuals check?"
Probably going to Games Workshop because those guys are broke.
You captured Zone C.
Well, Games Workshop needs to wake up and realize that sharing ideas and letting other people capitalize is not a bad thing.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know why. It's like every time they make a good decision, they have to make two bad decisions.
Gotta turn this around.
Oh, they're asking, since you did the roof there, are you planning on doing another character backstory there?
When I come up with it. It takes me a long time to really come up with a very in-depth character backstory. The funny thing is, I've heard a few people in the comments of that video saying, hey, I created my own character too. Could they meet Ruth? I've actually had a few people ask me that, and I'm like, if you want.
You gotta write it.
Ow. Oh well, I got Hitakiri anyway.
So would the show be burn longer due to the excessive amount of fuel he's
You mean?
Like, pull like a Dong Zhou, just burn for like 3 days?
Yeah, he's got so much internal fat. But I don't know. Speaking of which, people, the poll is decided. I'll be doing Shugoki for the next Heroes in History. But if this next week's schedule is the permanent schedule, I have no idea when I'll be able to make such videos. Right now, it's just not looking promising.
Alright, Sim, we have been asked that question several times, and that actually might be a milestone reward for, at some point. So, we're not going to answer that on the stream now, because that kind of question would require a little bit more in-depth than what we can just discuss over the stream. So just know we are working on that style of question. Don't worry, Shugoki will get his day in the sun. Considering his large girth, he could probably be in the sun and the moon at the same time.
Probably.
You lost Zone A.
Hey Raven, have you seen Outlaw King by any chance?
Nope. I haven't.
I'm familiar with it. I think I saw a trailer, but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen Outlaw King. I'll just be honest, I haven't seen it. How am I doing? Well, I've got 5 kills.
As long as it's not like the Outlaw Prophet. And if you want to know more about that guy, wait until I finally get around to it.
Oh, thanks, Shugoki. You're so you use your bow and arrow feed on me. You drop attack me.
It's the forecast called for a 50% chance of Shugoki's.
Yeah, well.
I should have checked his weather radar.
All right, well. That's not very nice of you.
You captured Zone A.
Do you know Sir Zany by any chance, like personally?
No, I don't know Sir Zany. I don't really like Zany's content that much. If I'm being honest. He's okay, I just don't really care for him.
I'm all the helmets to stick on.
You captured
Okay,
Zone
basically
C.
a more accurate brave. Yeah, that's about Robert the Bruce. It may be worth a watch.
You lost Zone A.
What do you think, this question, do you think, what do you think about gender locking characters? Should all of them be allowed to go both genders, or should there be some kind of gender lock?
It doesn't bother me one way or the other, if I'm being honest. I want some characters to be more genders, like Highlander. I'd love to see a female version of Highlander. I think that'd be cool. But there are others that I just don't see as a male, like Peacekeeper or Shugoki. But Kyoshin...
You don't see Shugoki as a male?
No, I mean... what I mean is I don't see all of them being
gender locked. Like, seeing a male Nobushi might be hard on the fan base.
Hi, Griffin. Run away, Griffin.
I still want a female Lawbringer. That's kind of like Warmonger, but just give them a pole axe. It's pretty much what that is.
Better go help out Hexo 4.
Probably gonna have to go with pole axe. Male PK would be...
I don't know why I thought I could help.
Your team is breaking.
What a shot. There is no oof, there is just cringe.
Guys, we're gonna be holding up on that for a second. Yes, but he plays on top of it. He plays PS4. Yeah, I'm not sure how much they could put in this game, man. Simpson. Not that I would. Not that would.
Oh, okay, so that was your big plan. Oh, thanks, asshole. No, he's basically saying he buried my grave. Okay, asshole, whatever. Had to climb up a fucking ladder and drop down on me like a bitch, but sure.
Oh, no, it is what it is. Yeah, hero customization has improved, but there's something room for improvement. GG indeed.
That was not a... What the fuck?
David was commenting in the chat.
Who?
David, the guy you were playing.
Oh, well, if he says so. Which one was he? Does he want to admit that he was the Hitakiri or the Shugoki?
I don't know which one he was. How would you feel about someone making a For Honor anime?
They'd ruin it. If you've seen High Guardian Spies, you know what America and the Western world does to anime.
I think if you're gonna do it, just let the Japanese go with it. Just let them go with it. Don't try and let the Canadians or the Americans have any interference in it.
Definitely, yeah. Don't let them touch it.
Male Warmonger would be cool.
That would be cool. I admit I would like to see a male Warmonger. That'd be kind of nice.
Kristen Freeman to voice that.
And Takiri.
I want a Latin-speaking Warmonger.
That'd be cool. I'd like that.
Yep, we already agree. Female Highlander is a must.
Yep, already said that.
I'd like to see Guts as a guest character.
No, because he'd just be too much like Highlander.
I suppose if he had like a special event, like a Berserk event, that wouldn't be so bad. Like he could be like a Guardian.
Yeah, but all the Guardians already move like Guts, and besides, they're not going to do anything blatantly anime like that.
Yeah, that's true. Hey Raven, what do you think happened to the Lord Warden?
He went searching for himself. I have no
He went on a thing. I'll be right back. Take care of this.
Sure.
I'll have my phone so I can still monitor.
Hey Raven, considering the headcanon that most knights are Christian and For Honor, do you think they would butt heads with knights that revere a draconic or serpentine deity? Well, yeah, of course they would. If they're Christian, they're not going to like pagan worship or satanic worship. So yeah, of course they would butt heads with them. Like, that's kind of an obvious thing. Knights in actual history went to war with people who were satanic in nature or paganistic. The whole idea of slay the heretic, you know.
You lost
Oh, boy.
Zone A.
Hey guys. What the? Okay.
You lost Zone C.
Alright, let's, and one of my team just quit. Yay. Alright, well, let's go die again. Oh, there we go. Well, I guess I'll just go make sure B stays ours, I guess. I ain't going back to C. Not when there's a Highlander and a Hitakiri there to make my life hell. not like I have much choice. They're just kind of sitting there.
You captured Zone A.
And the only thing we don't have is C. Alright, let's start the pain train. Yeah. Okay. What's my opinion on the new material, Emerald Green? It's good. I like it. I like the green.
Do it.
That's my score. Ah, cool. Well, I got the heat to carry only for the Nobushi too.
Alright.
Why did you guard break, Lawbringer? Oh my gosh.
How do you feel about double-sided axe designs as weapons?
They're stupid. Double-sided axes are not a good idea. Shadversity did a whole video on the subject, and I agree with him.
He acknowledged that Shad and Scholar are both talking about it, but he wanted to know your opinion.
Oh, well, my opinion is that they're dumb. They are way too top-heavy on either side. They defeat the purpose of the downward stroke that comes with axe usage, and they make it dangerous to use yourself because it could always swing back and hit you. Makes it harder to control, and the sideways swing as well. It's just not a good idea. Keep axes the way they're meant to be.
Yeah, I don't think Transformers would work well in a medieval style.
No. All 3 in C. Isn't that cute?
We 3 C's of... Oh, wait, no, different. Factions such of armor, I think we're only going to see in like outfits. I don't think they're actually going to... They would go through that, though that would be cool.
We're gonna miss you, little bitch.
You captured Zone C.
Good ain't that? Centurion's meeting called... What's going on in Point C? The world may never know.
What's going on in Point C? Hell is it.
Do you have any stories about your special needs students?
Enemy team is breaking.
Not that come to mind, really.
Well, that's gotta be rough.
I'm gonna make it even rougher. Sorry, wow, buddy. I want this.
Victory.
I needed that.
What if friendly fire was added in Front? It still kind of is. It's just you can hurt your teammates. You just
I've never liked the idea of friendly fire in the first place.
One place like Rainbow Six would be a lot more tolerable if they got rid of it.
Yeah, I hate friendly fire in general. I think it's dumb because look, I get the idea. It forces you to control your aim and control like what you're doing with your attacks and stuff. I get that, I do, and I respect that. But when you're playing a game where the people can just be toxic for toxicity's sake, then friendly fire becomes your worst enemy.
What is your opinion on Battlefield 2042?
I don't know a thing about it. Don't really care to know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooter games in the first place.
As a guy who's played a bit more Battlefield, I was a real big fan of Battlefield 1. I was incredibly let down by Battlefield 5. And, like, I played, like, opening week, and then I stopped. I never revisited it. It looks better. It looks like some of the original stuff like we saw with Battlefield 4. But I'm not going to do the pre-order stuff. Not after 5. Not after the crap they pulled. So I am hopeful but skeptical.
Yeah, it's a good attitude to have towards it. Ah, kicked again. Okay.
When you take down a Hitakiri and Highlander in the same go.
Well, I was pissed off at him.
Fair enough. Lorath is sending you hugs.
I appreciate that.
For any games you interested in, I think he means like any games coming out that you have your eye on.
Not especially. There are none that really pique my interest right now.
We'll let you know like if any like sort of pop out to us, but we both have kind of niches that we
like. There are just certain games that fascinate me and others that don't. There are no games coming out that I know of that I'm just itching to play. Like, I guess Elden Ring for PS4 looks interesting, but it just looks like Dark Souls to me. And Dark Souls was interesting, but not my thing.
Yeah. Halo Infinite will be interesting to see how that works.
I mean, yeah, Halo Infinite should be.
The one I'm looking forward to is Warhammer 3.
Yes, I know you're excited for Warhammer 3. I know that's got you excited.
Tyranids, that's not even a contest. Smurfing and For Honor is awful. Agreed, yes. Hollow Knight, we are unfamiliar with Hollow Knight. Nothing against it, just we are completely unfamiliar.
I don't know anything about Hollow Knight.
Yeah. I like the art design of it, but that's all I know about it.
What would be scarier, fighting a Xenomorph or fighting a Tyranid? Tyranid. I'd be far more scared of fighting a Tyranid.
This is an interesting one. Hey Raven, do you think it would be bad to make a mermaid-like fantasy race that can use their lower fins to walk on land, kind of like a mud skipper fish?
That'd be kind of hilarious,
Yeah,
actually.
I'm actually thinking that'd be kind of funny. Can please tell me they do the gaping thing too when they're on? Just like most beautiful people you've ever seen from the waist up, but they're just like crawling around on the beach.
Horrible.
Okay, if you could make up an event for Honor with any franchise, which one would it be?
Warhammer.
I would probably do Warhammer 2, but since he already did I would say Assassin's Creed, but we've done that one. Done Prince of Persia.
Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, Elder Scrolls would be a good
That
one.
might be interesting.
Or Dragon Age. Dragon Age would also be cool.
Sorry I'm not more talkative tonight, guys. My spirit is just broken. Trying hard to get it back.
It's like, what's the name? My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Yeah, my disappointment is immeasurable, and quite frankly, my day is ruined.
Best to look on the bright side of life.
You captured Zone A.
Imagine a Xenomorph Tyranid Queen. That's just a Xenomorph, like, Gene Stealer, what are the leaders of Gene Stealer called?
Patriarch?
Yeah, Gene Stealer. That's just a Gene Stealer Patriarch.
Yeah, Xenomorph Queens are just the patriarchs of the
Yeah, just know the Tyranids are pretty much ripped off directly from the Xenomorphs, but then like given a little Flood love. And I know the Flood came after them, but that's just kind of where we get the idea. Raven Spirit has been gained no GG moment. That is one way of putting it. Maybe
that is a legit way of putting that.
Maybe not the most eloquent way, but all I'm saying is put that on a T-shirt. You might make a name. Heck, we may do that. It'll be a great T-shirt. My Spirit has been gagged. A Monty Python crossover for April Fool's Day? Yes, a coconut, a galloping emote would be amazing. Xenomorph Sears, it doesn't matter, they're both bugs. Grab the heavy flamer with holy intent. Exactly. Grab your brothers and go on a barbecue, boys.
Wait, why do we not have these? Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. I'm just gonna sneak on back over to C and help out Sen. Looks like he's having a hard one.
Sean's just like, what the heck happened here?
And that's what happened.
Space Marines out here stealing the Predator's kills. Predators are just Xeno Catachan jungle fighters. Prove me wrong.
Yes. The Predators are just Catachan jungle fighters if they were Xenos. Oh, the Raider's afraid to go out and actually start killing him because he's worried about it.
French taunting as an emote for the night. Coconut galloping the holy hand grenade. Oh, Dr. Calibrations just dropped $5. Monty Python event for April Fools where they have a Black Knight Warden, but without limbs, just hovering torso and sword. That would be cool. That would be a cool emote.
Yeah.
Or maybe like sort of like a tribute, but there's only one and it's the Holy Grail. Someone also put in there, but yeah, once again, thank you, Dr. Calibrations.
Yeah,
for the
thank you
donation.
for the $5. Appreciate that.
Yep. And yes, the Holy Hand Grade of Antioch is like a special feat. That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. But then again, isn't Griffin's fourth feat the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch?
Yeah, but it would pack even a larger blast radius. And maybe like every time you throw it, like a little rabbit walks in the blast radius. Oh, a Holy Hand Grenade Execution. Yes. And you could have them go 1, 2, 5, 3, 7, 3. Oh. We're also doing Monty Python crossover. We also need a Centurion with the biggest dick as Joe. It's mandatory. You found it reasonable? When I say the name, in terms of headcanon, who do you think is the laziest For Honor character?
The laziest For Honor character is Arabish, because he just don't give a shit.
Why do you think he became a Ronin?
Like, he just doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't have a master. Who's going to tell him not to?
That is an excellent point, Devil Dog. Now we can send in Tim the Enchanter. Some call me Tim?
Tim?
Oh, for your mode, your character gets a plank and sings Deus vessels domine, smash, dona esiste. I apologize, I know I butchered that Latin.
Are you just going to stand there and flinch? Okay. What were you doing? Were you just waiting on a buddy to show up? Were you like, I don't want to fight you anymore?
He's listening to the advice of Legate Yankus.
Maybe you were better off just playing AFK. I'll be honest. I like that though. I'm gonna go AFK. I don't want to fight you, buddy. Shows up. Ooh, now I can beat you. He ends up losing anyway.
Hey, Raven, what's your opinion of John Carpenter's Halloween?
You mean with Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it fine. It's one of the quintessential slasher movies. Right up there with Friday the 13th. And like, there's no question, it's made an impact on horror as a whole, and Michael Myers is definitely intimidating. It's just not my favorite scary movie.
Monty Python crossover, we get a signature where they're crucified and they whistle. I'd be good at that.
Enemy team is breaking.
Which one is a better swarm race, the Tyranids or the Skaven? Whatever your answer is wrong, because we all know the orcs are the strongest because they wall real good. Well, orcs aren't necessarily, like, they have other tactics other than just, you know, swarm. It may not seem like it, but they do have like, remember in the Kindness Kane novel where they actually use kind of clever use of the weird noise?
Yeah, but they really need a war boss in order to implement their strategies properly.
Yeah, but I do love that we can actually hear their thought processes, because greatest orc war going on in millennia, the war boss just comes down, drops, and goes, "Boys, wall," and they go and they win. Beautiful. That's amazing. But I also love the derpiness of the Skaven, just because it's like, we're going to use, like, green cocaine to fuel literally everything. And it kills us, but we don't care. Because we live for, like, 10 years anyway. Unless you're...
For the Skaven, casualties are always a secondary issue.
Yeah, because literally, like, we joke about the Imperial Guard being, like, a 99% casualties, victory. Skaven, same deal, but literal.
Well, the Skaven they literally just say, alright, casualties are, whatever, just throw yourselves at them.
Honestly, I think the Skaven are more creative than the Tyranids, because the Tyranids are very much based off of the Xenomorphs.
Yeah.
And while I think they're cool in their own thing, I like sort of the quirky rat men we get.
Yeah, no question.
Because you can have rat men that mutate crap into some weird monsters, and you have...
I mean, Tyranids don't have personality, is the thing. They're just mindless eating machines, but Skaven can have a personality.
Because who would ever thought of before, which sounds more interesting, Xenomorphs but purple and hungrier, or rat men with nuclear warheads?
Like, I mean, you can't tell me that in the trailer for the, Icket Claw versus, what was his name?
Icket Claw versus, Tehowin, or Teeny Weeny.
Yeah, Teeny Weeny versus Icket Claw. You can't tell me that Icket Claw just isn't having a good time there, you know, when he just starts out laughing, just, I'm like, you know,
that is a man who loves his job.
That is top tier enjoyment. That is top tier. Just, you know what? I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy myself.
You're done. Not dead. Get stabbed a bunch and died.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm hearing right now.
Interesting.
This seems very strange.
The Thing versus the Tyranid.
We don't know the extent of the Thing's capabilities outside of just looking like something different. I give it to the Tyranid.
Since when has Icket Claw not?
Exactly, that's the thing. Icket Claw is just all like, you know what?
The only time I think he was a tad miffed was when Claymores was on back order with Rat Ogres.
Well, let's be honest. Who wouldn't be miffed?
Exactly. I ordered 100 Rat Ogres. What happened to them? They died in fighting the Bretonnians. Don't ask me how.
I'm gonna go Shugoki, boy. Yeah, I gotta make a vid about Fat Man.
This game, I'm taking advice from Pong Krell. Ridiculous casualties to a point where they're practically only ever win with pure numbers, but it gets results sometimes. Art, listen, if we have more men than they have bullets,
well, the funny thing is, I actually got a comment just today from someone when I announced that Shugoki would be next on his Heroes of History. They said, well, you know, I already watched a Gaijin Goomba video on Shugoki, and they said that they were based on sumo wrestlers and not really warriors, but I'll hear what you have to say. And I'm kind of like, okay. You can, like, why do I need you to compare? I love it when people say, there's no need for you to take the wind out of Gaijin Goomba's sails, you know, you're your own thing, he can be his own thing. Yeah, but people keep comparing me to the guy, and I'm not the guy.
Well, it's not like comparing, it's like they say, they asked to do the same thing, it's like... Anyway, Jaguar Warrior has donated $5.
Hey, thank you, Jaguar.
Thank you, Jaguar. It says Lord of the Rings For Honor crossover with Ringwraith Warmonger, Gondorian Lawbringer, Rohirrim Raider, Dwarf Warlord, Kinsey Easterling, Sauron, and Aragorn as commanders. That would be cool. Maybe a Highlander Uruk or something along those lines. No,
and a Shugoki troll.
Oh, absolutely.
A Shugoki mountain troll.
Or the same thing as they're all fighting over the ring.
And Peacekeeper, Nobushi, Nusha, and Valkyrie are just elves. Because of... And Kyoshin is Legolas. Because of course he is. And Warlord is Gimli.
They want to mute that.
He didn't stop talking without rapping.
Yeah, I know. I just had to get him in there.
That nigga Jason, nigga.
Yeah, I don't need this.
That nigga, man.
Alright, let's see. We're gonna mute this guy.
I wasn't a rap first. He was.
And Big Penguin, I think was the other one.
There, they're muted. Moving on.
Yeah, no, we're fixing it. We're fixing it.
Fixing what?
The audio. It's like their audio is annoying. Like, you know, we're working on it.
Yep, I just fixed it. They're muted now. Back to what we were doing.
Warden barely avoiding a charge tackle. They have a cave troll.
Oh crap. And there's the kick, and I'm over the ledge. Back to zone A.
SCP-682 be able to describe the Warhammer 40k universe. Depends on the rider. Because if Matt Ward has his Ultramarines there, there's no hope.
Ah, the gank is real. The gank is real. Poor Warden, he's dead next.
But they have
That's the danger of ganking. You abandon zones
You
to get as
captured
many kills
Zone
as
A.
you can.
Shinobi and Shaman as hobbits.
That'd be hilarious. I guess they don't want to come back. Oh, they went to A.
You lost Zone A. You captured Zone C.
Why did you interrupt me, people?
They got excited. What are you talking about? There is only Matt and the Ultra Blueberries. Bow down.
Run away! Run away!
You guys talking about Warhammer? I don't know nothing about it. You and the most of there's a lot of Warhammer fans that don't know
Why do
anything
y'all
about
keep
it.
interrupting my hugs?
They need love. That's how we're going to That's how we're going to win this war. By hugging things we hate. No, was that the quote? I think that was the quote. Am I the only one seeing Nobushi and Warmonger chilling in a Hot Topic? Warmonger I can see. Nobushi I feel will be at Forever 21. Or Forever, is it Forever 21 or Forever 22?
Oh, Kinsey, not your deck. Bum rush it. Okay.
I'd rather keep painting my custom chapter than play Blueberry Marines.
You captured Zone
Listen,
A.
I understand that Matt Ward put a nasty taste in everyone's mouth, but the Ultramarines aren't that bad. But I do agree that most other chapters need to making your own chapter has more flavor to it than just.
Oh, should I be the salty asshole? I'm gonna be the salty asshole.
Would you look at that? It's still forecasting Shugoki. Please bring your umbrella.
When Shugoki does a dive attack, there is no safety.
Shouldn't there be like a little messenger going, attack,
You lost Zone A.
And you missed. How do you feel about that? Your catch.
Oh, come on.
Run away! Oh, he's gonna go up the ladder and try to knock me off the ladder. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like,
that's cute.
man, the risk I took was calculated, but boy, am I bad at math.
I like that. Kensei, it was a good effort. It was a good effort. Except I knew your game before you could do it. Alright, Timmy Wolf. It was a
You
good try.
captured Zone A.
Don't be toxic.
Duncan, that is one of our most frequently asked questions. We have a video set up just for that occasion.
And Dragmeal left. He was the Highlander. So Highlander got sick of getting his butt kicked, so he quit.
No, he just heard there was some haggis on the table, and he just couldn't ignore it. I swear I remember someone saying a joke about how the other samurai fell ran a horse into battle. Meanwhile, Shugoki looks like he ate his. He is the horse. Good on you, A person. I agree with you on that one.
What did he say?
He was the one that said that it looks like Shugoki ate his horse. He wanted the extra horsepower, didn't you know?
Indeed.
Clark, I appreciate your Mr. House video. I showed it to a buddy of mine, and just between you and me, I think it got him just watch the channel. Oh, that's good to hear.
Good.
I'm happy to hear it because we actually did recently get a pretty long comment there of a guy that was pretty upset with my conclusion.
Yeah, it was one guy, major Mr. House fanboy, just lost his crap with Will, and just, you know, he just.
Yeah, I responded and pointed out like the reasons why I said what I said. I mean, it's not his entire points were out. Like he made some decent points. My issue with it though was like he didn't have to be overtly hostile. Oh, that's
Bye. You really, Timmy.
That's unfortunate.
Timmy, you need to stop, man. You need to stop.
Look, can we get like the Green Goblin? Oh.
You lost.
Oh no! He eats baby
How does that even happen?
The Ogre Kingdom is just the Shugoki anthem. Changed my mind.
Oh, Highlander get okay.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Devil Dog.
You captured Zone A. You lost Zone C.
Yeah, Devil Dog, that edit, that took way longer than I really wanted it to, but yeah, I had to put that in.
Blackfriar's not happy.
Judging by how some characters have bombs, that means gunpowder exists. Blunderbuss win, Ubisoft.
When it's balanced and can be used properly without being broken as hell.
It would have to be a feat.
I've got a follower, Iced Cactus. Yay!
And how does one ice a cactus? Asking for a friend.
Very carefully.
Okay.
Oh no, we lost C. I'm coming. And
Raven, what did you have for dinner tonight? Red meat like a man.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Lost Zone A.
Lark's Lamentation is a win-win, JK, unless... Yeah, the problem is I have to pick out problems with the faction, talk about how to fix them. The Wu Lin does not have a breadth of lore I can go into other than they are the default Chinese faction. And so, I would need more to work with and go on. Arcus Hero, one shot, everyone laughs loudly from 50 feet away. Like I said, gunpowder could be used as feats, but an actual, as the main weapon, that wouldn't work too well.
You lost Zone A.
Shugoki only eats the finest of baby elephants. Well, I kid you not. In the Mediterranean, once upon a time, there were pygmy elephants. So, you joke, but it would have been ridiculous.
This insane. This kid.
No, Val, he suffered enough. No, please.
This Kensei must hate me.
You know, he's probably like, I picked Kensei so I could have a good time for a change, and here comes the big boy.
Enemy team is
Oh God, no! alright, BP.
Grimlock, I don't want to say no to it, but I know I was never a big Transformers kid, but I'll add it to the list of eventuals nonetheless. Ubi should make a Mongolian for the Wu Win. I know that they were enemies, but yeah. We agree a Mongolian team here. I mean, we have a Celtic, possibly two Celtics heroes for the Vikings, and we have two Romans for the Knights. So I don't think a Mongolian or even a Korean would be out of the realm of possibility for the Wu Win. What do you think?
I'd be down with a Korean, definitely. All right, Sensei. Shall we go for another dance?
Stay away from me, demon.
Shall we go for another dance?
Prepare for maximum light.
Hold on, give me a hug, give me a... Why do y'all keep interrupting my hug? That's what teaches revenge.
Hey Raven, do you play Neo 2 anymore? Not necessarily on stream, but like at all. I'm addicted to this game because of you.
Oh, I love Neo 2. I still play it. I just don't play it as much just because, well, I don't have time because of work, and when I do have time to play, I kind of have to make content. That's the evil of being a content creator on YouTube. You know, you sometimes have to play the game that gets you the money and gets you the views. I've tried streaming Neo 2 and doing stuff with Neo 2, but people just don't watch it. People do. I literally had one person in the chat one night while I was doing Neo 2 just say, "Win for honor, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, I thought you were playing for honor, and I'm like, I do play for honor.
Do you not read the titles when we put these out?
Well, they read the title, but they're disappointed. They're like, "I wanted to watch them for honor. You're not playing for honor." All right, that's enough Dominion for tonight. Let's switch to our breach to end out the night. Yeah. I'm just not in the mood to keep going right now.
Hey Raven, imagine a mission where you have to escort an elephant/posse of horses carrying goods to another castle.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What the? What is this?
Who brought the organist?
Is someone playing in their local church?
I must apologize. Dracula just came in and I am contractually obligated to play his theme.
Let's go,
no, we are unfamiliar with that in a bit.
Thinking Shaolin, what do you think, bro?
I know you had a request for Warmonger on here.
Warmonger? Alright, I'm muting this guy. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry. Hey Raven, you all are going to find this disgusting, but I ship War Mommy and Raw Daddy in a secret relationship.
I don't mind that. Doesn't bother me. Raven, when is the next For Honor update expected to drop? Thursdays. For Honor releases content updates every Thursday.
Next big one?
Oh, the next big one won't be until next season, and next season's a couple weeks away.
Dark Calibrations just donated $5 more. Hey, I was there for the Neo 2 stream, but yeah, I understand the requirements to stream the game that brings the views. Also, Dracula needs to go. We'll get there, but let's thank you for the $5 donation.
Yep, thank you for $5. We appreciate the $5. It means a lot, guys.
Alex Jones, Gay Frog Enjoyer says, just saw your video on Root. It was really good. When are you going to become the lead writer for the game?
Oh gosh, I wish Ubisoft would contact me. I wish they would say, "Hey, we'd like you to come on and be lead." I would make so many changes. They'd say, "You can't do this."
Like, you cannot canonically make Nobushi shift with Warden. It will be done.
I will make this happen. We will have a paired kiss emoji, and I will make sure Nobushi and Warden are made to do it. Okay, I'm using this. Hold on. Who's the one doing it? Maybe it's this guy. Nope. It's,
Soccer boy?
nope, it's this guy.
Yeah, that was one of the bots.
There! Got him.
Oh! Excellent question for you from Ecstatic Ethan. What is the problem with High Guardian's size?
What isn't the problem with High Guardian?
I should mention, he said in his comment, feel free to rant.
Okay, Oh, bro, before I start this, could you get me a water or something?
But of course.
I'm going to go off. I need to go off on this show. I wish my friend Hannah were watching this right now. She'd love to hear this. I wish Roz were here right now. She'd love to hear this. I mean, just, oh my lord, that show is a heresy of the highest quality. No, kids, Shinobi, you need to sit still, because I gotta talk about this absolute atrocity that they call an anime. Okay, you know, there are people out there who always say, oh, you like anime? That's such nerd trash. How can you like anime? It's just so weird. I'm like, no. See, I like anime. Anime can be very creative and offers a lot of creative ideas in terms of storytelling, in terms of character design, in terms of world design. Anime can be incredibly neat. But High Guardian Spice is what people think of when they think anime is trash. So let me get something to drink while this Shaolin dies. Hold on. While you dispose of some trash. Okay. Let's get started. So High Guardian Spice. I'm going to first explain to you what the show is about. The show is about two girls who are going to an academy, a school, like Hogwarts or whatever, to learn how to be guardians. Now, what is a guardian? Well, your guess is as good as mine, because the show never really explains well what a guardian is. Based on the name, you assume that they're trying to guard something from something. But they don't explain what you're guarding the something from something is. They don't explain what you're protecting. Is it the land? Is it a treasure? Is it a kingdom? See, they don't think it's necessary to explain. They don't bother to answer that important question about what it is you're guarding or who you're guarding things from. Like they don't want to tell you that. But that's okay, because that's not what the show's really about. But we'll get to what the show's really about in a minute. So one of the girls, oh gosh, what was her name? She's the main girl with pink hair. I always forget her name. I'll remember it later. Trust me, I'll remember it later, and it's gonna annoy the hell out of me. Her mother was a guardian and bequeathed her sword to this girl because she was just so special and amazing and awesome and all that crap. And she is just this gung-ho girl who just wants to kick butt and take names and be the best guardian she can be. Sure, she's a little clumsy, and sure, she's a bit headstrong, but she's got a good heart, and that's why people like her. Then you've got her best friend forever, who might just very well be her lover, named Sage. A little witch girl who practices magic and is just so shy, but again, a very good girl and all about studying hard and being friendly with everybody. You know, just the perfect little angel. How could you possibly hate these kinds of characters? Let's be real here. Why are you hating me? So, they make it to the academy and they meet this dark-skinned elf girl named Time, who, and if you couldn't tell the joke at this point, every character is named after some kind of spice or flower or something. Anyway, Time is this very emotional, well, no, I can't even tell that joke. She's the blandest bred elf bitch who is cranky and upset with everyone about something. Lord knows what it is. She'll never tell you. And it's not like you really care that much anyway, because her only existence is to be blandest bred with a mysterious backstory that you don't know. And then you've got this dwarf character, a girl again, named, what was her name? Parsley, who's just this tough girl who's a master blacksmith and is going to the Guardian Academy to learn how to be a better blacksmith. Which again begs the question, what is a guardian? If a guardian is a warrior or a mage or some kind of protector, why do you go to an academy for protectors to learn how to be a blacksmith? That seems like a very odd class session for protectors of the realm, but whatever. Again, explaining things is not what this show is very good at. So, these characters all interact through very cuddly, convenient circumstances. The first episode basically follows, again, the girl, I can't remember whose name, it tells you just how much of a, impression, Rosemary! That's her name, Rosemary. That tells you how much of an impression that she left, and I just now remembered her name. Rosemary and Sage make it, and they end up staying with Sage's cousins, who are lesbian lovers. Now, I would tell you more about these characters, but I can't think of one other goddamn thing to tell you about these characters because they are so bland, so meaningless, and the only aspect of their character that they tell you to care about is the fact that they are lesbians. They hold each other's hands, they're always cuddling up on each other, there's a straight up picture of their marriage photo on the wall. They're perfectly friendly and fine. They're both basically the same character. One just looks like a punk, the other looks like an elf. And they're both, they're the exact same character. If you made them both look the exact same, you could literally just call them twins and it would mean no different. They don't even make the punk character act like a punk. They both just act the same, making cookies and being friendly and being so open and hospitable. Like, there's nothing else to their characters other than the fact that the show was running. Hey, by the way, did you remember? They're lesbians, which leads into what the show is really about. I can tell you all about the plot that doesn't exist. I can tell you about the conflict that is meaningless, but I'm not going to tell you about the conflict or plot that don't exist or that are meaningless, because that's not what the show is about. Here is what the show is about. Political ideology and political correctness. I'm not kidding. I have watched up to episode 7 of this 12-episode show. I'm still watching it, and I'm going to finish it because I made a promise to Hannah that I would finish it and help her rewrite it to be somewhat better. But I'm going to be honest, after watching 7 episodes of this, only after the end of episode 7 do we finally get an overarching plot. Now, some people try to argue it's a slice of life anime. Slice of life animes don't require an overarching plot. And you know what? Normally you'd be right. Except all the trailers built up that some kind of big disaster was coming. All the trailers built up that there was some great evil. And in episode 3, they tried to establish some kind of underlying problem called the rot. But they never bring it up again until episode 7. So, literally, they just twiddle their thumbs and drag their feet to decide that there's going to be an overarching plot. So if it's not about an overarching plot, what is the show about? Well, each episode kind of deals with some socio-political correct bullshit. The very first episode, the 2 girls that they're going in to live with are lesbians. Ooh, that's real good story writing right there. That really told me a lot about the plot. The second episode, I don't even know. It's about them going to school and learning about their place in the school and meeting the bully characters. I actually made a bet with Hannah. I said, how much do you want to bet that the first male student that they interact with is going to be either stupid or a bully? And I won that bet. The very first male character we see is this dude named Snapdragon, who looks about as feminine as they come. But yeah, he's a bully. The next male student character we meet is, I think, retarded. I think he has a mental deficiency. He is just, and he has long eyelashes like he's a girl. It's like they don't know how to design male characters. And then we meet a male teacher who turns out in episode 3, they had to explain this in episode 3 to us, is transgender, but not by surgery or by anything like that, by magic, because transgenderism in the real world is just as easy as magic, right? You don't feel right in your gender? Magically make yourself the other gender. He explains that when he was a kid, he never felt right being a girl, so he used a magic potion that he drinks once a month to make himself a male. Because that's all it is. I hate that. I hate that so much. Not because it's transgenderism, that's not the reason, but because you're very much kidifying a very serious issue. Whether or not you agree or disagree with transgenderism as a thing, or whether or not you think it's right or wrong to be another gender that you aren't biologically, I don't care. For people who actually want to go through that process, it is a very lengthy, difficult, painful, sometimes life-destroying process, and it's just, in this show, it's magic. I just decided, you know what, I don't want to be a male anymore, I want to be a girl, so magic. That's not how life works. That's making that whole situation just look easy and simple. And I'm like, that's not the way that should be portrayed. That's not the way we should show that to kids. But whatever, because that's what the whole episode was about. There was nothing else to that episode. They constantly throw out tiny little plot points that I think, oh, this could build into something big. Like there was one episode where Parsley, whose dad is a blacksmith, tells her when she comes home for the weekend, hey, you know what? This whole Guardian thing was kind of cool for a while, but aren't you done with that yet? Why don't you come home and help us around the forge? And she goes, Dad, I want to be myself. I want to make my own life. And I thought, oh, we're actually about to get some character development now, because now there's going to be this overarching thing that her parents expect all this of her, and she doesn't want to be tied down by her family anymore. Yeah, that's good writing. I like that. I'm down with that. I can get behind such a story. I could even see that being something long-lasting, something that comes into play later as she struggles with her identity. No, it's solved in that very same episode, and in a way that I don't really get. They established that the reason they want her around the house is because she can help take care of her 12 baby brothers better than anyone else, and I'm like, 12 baby brothers, that's a lot, but whatever, that's not a big deal. So they say, you help us with the kids. Well, how do they decide that she can actually make her own life? Well, one of the kid brothers accidentally gets himself trapped on the roof of the building, and she helps save him. And somehow that tells mom and dad, you know what, you're free to make your own life. Why? Wouldn't that incident tell you that she needs to be there in case something stupid like that happens again? But no, conflict over, conflict gone. Parsley has no more character development. There's nothing else that I've seen so far that tells us her character requires any growth. Literally, when we see her in her blacksmith class, they even say, you're too good for this class. We're just going to move you up to the next tier. You know, you're just really too good. You're already better than all the others. You know? Nothing for her to learn, nothing for her to grow, and nothing for her to understand. She's just already perfect in every way. There was another bit that I didn't understand. Marigold, or, whatever the main bitch's name is. I don't know her name. I don't want to know her name. It's annoying. She's Rosemary. That's what it is. God, I hate myself for actually remembering that name. Rosemary apparently wants to live up to her mother's legacy, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're this woman's daughter. You're just so amazing, aren't you? But no one ever tells her, maybe you shouldn't be trying to live up to your mother's legacy. Maybe you should try to be your own person. No, that's not for her. But when Snapdragon, the male bully that I mentioned earlier, is trying to use his father's battle axe, the teacher has to say, maybe you shouldn't be living in your father's shadow and trying to live up to his legacy. Maybe you should be living for your own legacy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, why are we saving this for the bully character? Why are we having the bully character go through this horse shit? Why can't we do this to the main character so that we can actually have some character development? Like, maybe I care more about seeing the characters grow and change and evolve more than I care about seeing the bully grow and change and evolve. That was stupid. Then we see an episode where Sage wants to buy this magic staff, but apparently magic staffs are new magic. It was something that her mother doesn't approve of. Her mother wants her to stick to traditional magic, old magic. But Sage wants to try new magic because she thinks it's something unique and cool. But she's worried about what her mother will think. Again, I'm like, alright, I'm down with that. That's good character development. A difficulty between her mother and her. Difficulty between recognizing what she can and can't do. The idea of the traditional versus the new age. That's an actual good... Nope, solved same episode. Because it turns out that the cousins revealed to her, oh, your mom dabbled in new stuff too. She has no room to judge you for trying new things. And I'm like, so... then there's nothing. You're literally not giving us any kind of characterization. You're not giving us any character growth. You're literally just telling us, you know what? Development and changing of characters is for, it's not something that's actually necessary. This show doesn't know how to tell a story. It wants to tell political messages and social messages in each episode to the point of ad nauseum. It is irritating. It's a bore to watch. It actually hurts sometimes to watch because I'm literally going, where are you going with this? What's the point of this? Look, I get it. You want us to appreciate lesbians, transgenderism, and race theory and all this other bullshit that I don't care about. And the funny thing is, even if you support the ideals that it's selling, it's still pitiful storytelling. It does not respect itself enough to actually tell a good story around all these bull crap political messages. Like, whether I agree with them or not is up for debate. Why do I care about it? You're not telling me a story. You're selling me an agenda. That's propaganda. That's not storytelling. Oh, and then it gets worse, because even if I forgave all the awful storytelling, and awful characters, and awful development, and awful writing, even if I forgave all of that, all of it, the art is terrible. It just looks like She-Ra meets Steven Universe meets every other stupid, cutesy, puffy, cotton candy, haired anime show wanting to be ever. Like, literally, I could take a character from that show, put it next to a character from Steven Universe, and say, which one's from Steven Universe and which one's from High Guardian Spice. Odds are pretty good you wouldn't be able to tell me, because they both look so freaking similar. It is cheaply made. It's shoddily made. The fighting and the combat, when there is any, because there usually isn't. I think they only showed it recently in the 7th episode. I think that was when they finally decided to give us some real conflict and combat. Again, a 12-episode anime chooses its 7th episode to introduce any combat. They do it terribly. Anytime they show sword fighting, I'm like, this is not how you sword fight. Anytime they show magic, I'm like, what are the limitations of magic? What can you do? What can't you do? There's an episode where Sage is going like, I don't trust myself to be able to do magic well. I don't know anything about this. Well, maybe you should learn and figure things out. Maybe there should actually be consequences for your actions. Maybe no, it's just going to all be solved in the same goddamn episode. Oh my. Need a moment.
Which is worse, Steven Universe or High Guardian Spice?
That's like asking which is worse, vomit on your sandwich or literal dog shit. Both are disgusting.
But the dog will still eat them.
The dog will still eat both. But why would you make anything for the dog?
I would also like to mention that the entire time they're going, dang, Angry Raven's almost unstoppable. I would like to remind you he was a Cornate cultist for a second there, if you looked at the Warmonger's uniform. And whenever you play For Honor, Sabaton should always intensify Anthony.
Okay, now that I've had a drink and backed up a little bit. There are many other problems with the show. Many other people have pointed out the laziness of some of the animation and art quality. Like literally an inserted PNG image of a lamppost in one scene. Like, it's lazy. It's poorly put together. But I think what annoys me more than anything is the fact that if you watch it on Crunchyroll and look at some of the comments under the episodes, they have removed negative comments, calling them toxic. And it's filled with comments saying, I love how cute the show is. It's just so well put together and it speaks to me. And yeah, okay. But you know what? Even if I was one of these alphabet people, even if I was one of these people who got and agreed with every single message they throw into this show, even if I was, I would still call this show horse crap. I would still say it was terrible. Because there's no effort in it. There can be really good movies and TV shows and books that preach messages I don't agree with, but dang it, their writing is so good, I can forgive it. I can literally say, no, you know what, I don't like what you're saying, but dang it if I don't love the way you present it. You know? There are people who aren't Christian who like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movie. There are people who weren't Christian who appreciated the artistic designs behind the Passion of the Christ.
I mean, I completely agree with you, and I'm sorry you are still going through that. You're having to still go through that series. It's kind of like when I took the challenge to watch a couple episodes of Steven Universe, and I was like, why?
Oh, I tried watching the first season of Steven Universe.
I wasn't even insulted. I was just bored.
Well, and you know what? Maybe that's why I think High Guardian Spice is worse. Because with Steven Universe, I'm not insulted by it. It's just boring. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing that draws me to it like, oh wow, I can't wait to see what happens next. With High Guardian Spice, the only reason I'm watching it is because, one, it's 12 episodes long, so I'll get through it pretty quickly, and two, because I promised to finish it. But if I'm being really honest, it's just garbage. Everything about it, it is an insult to storytelling. It is an absolute travesty to storytelling. It does not know how to stick to a plot, or even pick a plot to carry the story forward. You know what? Another thing that I love about it, this is actually not a joke. This is something that you will find absolutely hilarious. I guarantee you. Every episode of High Guardian Spice starts with a disclaimer saying that this show has language and violent scenes that may be inappropriate for children. Viewer discretion is advised. And I'm like, oh wait, so legitimately, you have cursing in this show. You have blood in this show. You have violence in this show. All right, let's see what you got. They don't actually swear until like episode 5. In fact, in episodes 1 and 2 and 3 where they have good opportunities to swear, they don't do it. Like there's a scene where when Parsley is in her blacksmithing class and she makes this item perfectly, the teacher looks at it and says, darn. He doesn't say damn, he says darn. I'm like, you had the opportunity to straight up curse, to take advantage of that.
You have the disclaimer and everything.
You have the disclaimer. You have no reason not to, but you don't. It's like the show wants to pretend it's edgy to draw in viewers because it knows it has nothing else to offer.
Here's another one. This one might be a debate. Which is worse, High Guardian Spice or Masters of the Universe Revelation? The remake that just came out on that.
I would care a lot more about that if I was a big He-Man fan. I never really got that into He-Man. It was fine. I think it would mean a lot more to He-Man fans than it does to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's an insult, and there's no question of that. But I think that
I imagine He-Man fans probably feel the same way we felt about The Last Jedi.
Right.
Oh snap, Warden, you're an actual player. I thought it was a bot.
Nope. Definitely not.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take that Chipotle kill. I didn't know you were. I thought you were a bot, which is why I was taking this. Yeah.
But anyway, I got it, bro. It wasn't close. But anyway, so which one do I think is worse? I haven't watched any of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Revelation, but I do know why people hate it. Because essentially, Sam Smith, whatever, no, not Sam Smith, what was his name? Or whatever his name was, he basically promised that it was going to be about He-Man. He wasn't going to disrespect the lore, and he actually was a big fan of He-Man. But instead, he lied to everybody. It's not about He-Man at all. In fact, He-Man dies in the first episode, and when they bring him back, it's just to insult him. And they establish a Mary Sue as the replacement.
And I love the insults. It's just like, I died saving the world. Yeah, but we had to live with it. Like, oh! We're just gonna crap on someone's heroic sacrifice? Like, what is with that? Like, I threw myself on a grenade to save my comic. Yeah, but then I felt bad when you did it, so I'm the real victim here.
I get why people hate it, don't get me wrong, but for me, High Guardian Spice is just something insolent.
Yeah.
You could at least give He-Man credit that it had something to exist off of that was good. High Guardian Spice is standing on its own, and it's failing right out the gate.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's kind of proof right there, like why they always co-opt other people's franchises. Because anytime they're let loose to make their own thing, they don't know the first thing about what to do. They don't know how to make a character arc. They don't know how to make characters seem interesting. They can barely get voice acting and animation down.
Well, the funny thing is, people have said that High Guardian Spice proves that Americans don't know how to make anime. I'm sorry, but, and yes, I know it's not an anime, but Avatar: The Last Airbender begs to differ. Although it is not technically anime, you can't deny it has anime inspiration in its art style and story.
I would also argue Teen Titans, like the original Teen Titans.
Yeah, Teen Titans, the original series, before Teen Titans Go, was also very heavily anime inspired, and it was also good. So America can make anime. It's not that. That's not the problem. It's that America, and not just America, but the West in general, has forgotten how to tell stories. They've forgotten how to make stories without making them either political, fetishized, or incredibly pandering. Like, you can't tell me that there are some movies or TV shows that were not created specifically to pander. Specifically to just say, you'll like this because you're part of the demographic it speaks to. Black Panther being a great example. I never even went to see Black Panther. I had no interest in seeing it. Partly because I just looked at it and I said, pandering.
Well, at the very least, Black Panther, there was honest effort put into it.
Yes, I'll give it that. There was effort put into it.
It plays by the numbers. It was kind of like somebody pointed out, it was just like if you watch Aquaman, you watch the same movie.
Yes,
But
yes.
and the thing is, I would agree with that. But the thing is, I still went to watch Black Panther. I enjoyed it for what it was, probably particularly because I like Chadwick Boseman, because he's from our state.
Right.
But I can understand where people's like, I think this might be a little bit of pandering. But the thing is, at least there was honest effort and creativity that they put into it.
Look, pandering isn't a negative thing as long as I tell that you cared about it. But I think the problem is nowadays it's just all pandering. That's all I see anymore. It's just, hey, we want to appeal to this demographic, so we're going to make something that we think will appeal to them. Yeah. And we're not going to put any effort into it. We're just going to say, hey, look, this will appeal to the transgender demographic because we're inserting a transgender character. This will appeal to the black demographic because we're inserting a black main character. This will appeal to the homosexual demographic because we're inserting a homosexual romance. There's not effort. There's no caring about what you're doing with it. Like people often say, oh, well, Beauty and the Beast had a homosexual relationship between Gaston and LeFou. Did you build on their characters? Did you establish how this affects either character, either side? No, but we have it, so aren't you happy? When J.K. Rowling said that Dumbledore was gay, but never established it in the book, or does that affect Dumbledore's decision-making? Does it affect the story in any way? Does it make any difference between how Dumbledore treats Harry or other people? No, it's just something we thought we'd throw in, because won't that make homosexuals
Use the cauldron.
happy?
Use the cauldron while you're at it.
Goddamn seal! Isn't that just a little insulting?
Gosh.
That you just think, hey, you'll like us because we have you in it. Isn't that what you want? audience? Isn't that just what you want? But all you
Bro,
need to see
move.
is yourself represented in the story, and now you'll love it, right? You don't need good storytelling. You don't need honest-to-God effort. No, you don't need that. You just need us to have you represented. You sheep. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Dang it. We can't
Who is
possibly
you?
have anything else.
Just so you
Clap, you seal!
Oh my gosh.
Earn your fish!
Of course.
Just so you know, you got 2 rants for the price of 1 tonight.
Bastard. Ass. Bitch.
But honestly, I think the best example I've seen of like it done right is when we played Dragon Age Inquisition. Like the character Dory.
Imagine.
Yes, he is a gay man.
Oh.
But he is still an excellent character. Yeah, because there's more than just his sexuality. Like his views on the game.
Gotta get him as low as possible. As low as possible.
He is my favorite wizard in that game. Maybe one of my favorite. He's probably like top 3 favorite characters in that game, purely because he defies what you would expect when you think of a gay character. He is a character first, a gay man second.
Well, no, here's what I like about Dorian. First, gayness was not his character. Gayness was an aspect of his character, but it wasn't the
Oh,
point about his character. In
snap.
fact,
Can
you
you
would
tell
not have
down there
known
at
he
the
was
ram?
gay until he told you. Because his character didn't revolve around it. And secondly, his gayness
Damn
played
it.
a factor
I
in
gotta
his
deal with this
backstory. That's why he was not. That's why he didn't want to go back to Deventure.
No!
That's why his father
They
and him
broke
had a
it.
bad relationship.
I want to try this.
I understood why it mattered, but most people don't see it that way.
Our biggest
To them,
priority
it's
is
not
keeping
only are they
core
gay,
safe. Keep
but it's
Rampart
gonna
safe.
save the world.
Do not let them
Or,
break through Rampart.
Not only are they gay, but everyone hates
You need
them
them
for it,
arrows.
and it just makes you so sad for them. And to me, I'm like, I don't feel sad for them. I don't feel sad for them. And if gayness saves the world, I'm like, why? It's not like heterosexuality saves the world in every story is like.
Well, actually, you could argue that since we are responsible for reproduction,
My bad. Dang, look at all them out
Heterosexuality
there.
saves the world because, dang
Why
it,
you running?
we make babies and keep the population in
now,
check.
and if you want to argue, it's like now in a country that has overpopulation, maybe homosexuality does save the day.
One thing I'd like Warden to have, I'd like him to be able to switch into a life after that. Like what War Mommy does. Or whatever.
I press square, bro. What is this game?
There needs to be quotes channel in the Discord to put notable quotes such as "clap you seal, earn your fish." Maybe that should go on the t-shirt.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Get Hannah to draw a seal with
I got a
woke
boner.
haircut. Clap you seal, earn your fish.
Why are there so many people in the voice chat? I don't know. For Honor, typically we don't get any, but today we've gotten so many.
It's kind of scary, actually.
Oh no. The Armusha stuck in the Pixels movie made by Adam Sandler.
Oh, God.
The poor man.
They're very cute faces, man. But I'm sorry I lost it there for a minute. I needed to let that out.
Oh my gosh.
Raven's list of rants. You can help by expanding it.
Here, catch you, Yoki.
Okay, here's a question that was asked earlier, but we didn't get a chance because we were kind of on a roll. Do you prefer the Judeo-Christian demon-angel hierarchy in Eastern Europe, and not Eastern, but just European superstition?
No.
Or Shinto Buddhist mythology like yokai?
Yokai provides a lot of versatility and creativity in the kind of stories you can
You move?
tell.
Can you move
so I
on,
prefer
Marisha?
that in terms of storytelling. But as a Christian, I adhere more to the Judeo-Christian style.
I'm gonna die. What's hitting me?
I think that for me, it's like there's a lot of potential in story for yokai because yokai act more like humans and such. I think the problem
Okay,
I
I can
have
get out
with
of that.
angels, demons, and
Did nobody hit me? Oh my
like,
gosh.
and Western
Of
storytelling
course.
is they don't actually keep them accurate. You never know quite what you're gonna get. Rant about heresy. Which one?
What heresy? You've got to be specific.
So, like, do you want me to go on the Cathar heresy? Like, what do you want here?
I need to go to my corner of shame for a minute.
Are we talking about like a Fractili Waldesianism? Like, there's a couple other.
I'm going to stay in my corner of shame for a minute.
I think the Judeo-Christian mythos is fascinating. You can play with it. It is, but a lot of people try and stray from it because in the Judeo-Christian idea.
Let me explain why I don't really get with it as much. I'll tell you why. There's a reason. It's because quite often when people try to take the Judeo-Christian mythologies and superstitions and stuff and try to make stories out of them, quite often they don't do them well. Or they try to be contrarian and say angels and God are evil while Satan and demons are good. And I wouldn't mind that, except they do it all the time. They do it all the time. Like, the demons, oh, you just don't understand why we chose to do what we do. We had no choice. It was difficult. God is just a horrible tyrant. And then the angels, well, you know, for the good of justice, we must destroy everything. Why do you think why do you think Supernatural did it all so freaking much?
Yeah. I could do a large lamentation of the Hunters and Supernatural, anything in Supernatural.
And I blame it all on Paradise Lost, that awful fan fiction book that people claim is, oh, it's so top tier and avant-garde. It's trash.
The only thing
it is heretical trash.
The only thing I like from Paradise Lost is the concept that other, like Egyptian pantheon gods and stuff, like they were classified, they were demons that worked with Lucifer, and they kind of after they went away. So like that's an interesting concept. But yeah. Let's see. What do you think of stories where the main character or other characters are demons that decide to repent, per se? Demons who try and act good and try not to be demons.
Oh, I'm writing a story about that called Lust for Life, where a succubus tries to, where a succubus finds a Christian man who dies, a Christian college student who dies, and she possesses his body to give him a second chance at life through her power, and says, I want to be redeemed, I want to be saved, and I want you to teach me how, because you're a good man who's obviously bound for heaven, and I want you to teach me how. In exchange, I'll give you a second chance of life and teach you how to find a proper relationship. And he agrees to it, but doesn't realize that by her leaving hell to do this, other demons are coming after her to bring her back, and so they have to work together to keep them away and to find a way for her to be redeemed. I think that can be a creative story. I don't think it's biblically accurate. I don't think it would ever happen, but I think it's a creative idea.
Okay.
I think I talked about that in one of my update videos.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it, but they might not have seen that one necessarily. Sounds a little bit like Has-Been Hotel. I think he's talking about the concept of like a demon trying to seek repentance. But problem is, like, in the way Has-Been Hotel works, it like if they're dead and they've gone to hell, it's too late. You're in the swing right now.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of Has-Been Hotel. I mean, it's cute animation and it's cute storytelling, but it's not biblically accurate. In fact, the way they describe hell is... I never got this idea of, you know, like with songs like Highway to Hell, they always make it sound like, hell's a fun place, party animals, dude. I once heard one person say, oh, I'm happy I'm not going to heaven because all the smart people are going to be in hell. And I'm like, what makes you think you're going to get the chance to have a conversation with these smart people? The best conversation you're going to get is, Do you not realize that the Bible makes it very clear that hell is not a place you want to go? It's a place that you will be tortured, destroyed, damned for literally all eternity. Why do people think, oh man, hell, party on, rock on, dude? We've created this idea of hell that it's some kind of cool, edgy place to end up, when in reality, it's not where you want to end up. And I think that this misunderstanding of what hell and damnation is a dangerous one for us to prescribe to. But in Has-Been Hotel, they make it look like it's this party town where you get sex and drugs and, you know, just all this crap all the time. But every year or so, or month or so, I can't remember how long, but every now and then they have this purge or whatever that happens where a lot of them get killed and all that. And I'm like, but it doesn't really affect anyone. They don't seem too bothered by it. Like, open gang wars in hell. What? Like Satan is actually going to give you the opportunity to obtain property in hell. Nothing belongs to you when you die, okay? You don't own anything. You're in hell. The rent is not... the rent is free, okay? You live there now. Enjoy the fire and brimstone.
The only thing I liked was the idea that there's a purge, because I like to think that it's just Doom Guy going in once a month. Just, like, you just hear Rick Riordan's music start playing, and then, oh, buckle up, boys, here it comes. Okay, but Rife says, love your Heroes in History series.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And, let's see. We may need to do a video about how to resolve the ganking issues, because we've had several ideas. Someone was saying, like, how would you do it? Like, we have several theories.
We have several theories and ideas of how we would do it. None of them I think would actually work, because I'm sure there's some problem with them that I can't foresee. And I know that when I make the video, there's going to be a plethora of comments saying, you don't know what you're talking about. If you do that, then this is going to happen. And what about this or that's going to happen? Or I'll just get the obvious comments of, you're just salty because you get ganked. Get good, bro. And I'm like, I don't have the patience to deal with those Neander fucks. Sorry, I'm not in a good mood tonight, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we're doing better than we started.
Yeah, we're definitely doing better than we started. I feel a bit better now that I've gotten to rant and get some crap off my chest.
What about society's story idea for you? Want to kind of make a Black Knight who must fight a demon who possesses him, who wants to use his abilities for evil, but his will and faith continue to subjugate it.
It's a cool idea, but you need a plot.
It's a good character.
Like it's a good character, but what's the goal? Like, what's the overarching goal?
Is he trying to get rid of the demon, like tame it completely? Like, what are we working with here?
It's not a bad concept. What you've got there is a concept phase. The concept phase is where you have an initial idea for a story, but that's not nearly enough. You need a plot. You need a direction the characters want to go, and how those directions counter or work with each other. Like, for example, if the demon possesses him to get his power, the demon probably wants to offer him something. Like, say, all right, look, give me your power and I'll give you this. And then the knight says, no, I don't want that. You get out of my body. But the knight also wants something, so the demon wants to try to appeal to that, but the knight wants to stick to his righteousness. How are their two goals and motives going to clash? That's the key to making good storytelling. You create a motive, a goal, or a direction the character wants to go, and the world or other characters stand against them or work with them. What do? Like, I think a good example is when you look at Lord of the Rings. Frodo's goal is to take the ring to Mount Doom. He's got some characters who are working with him for their own reasons. Sam because Frodo's his best friend, Pippin and Merry because Frodo's their best friend, Aragorn because he wants to redeem himself and redeem his lineage, Gimli and Legolas because they're just trying to save the world, and they're all working with him, but then you have people who are working against him. You have the orcs who are working against him because they serve Sauron. Sauron's working against him because he wants to regain his power again. See, every character has an overarching goal or purpose or desire, and what happens is they clash with the main characters. The main character is trying to work with or against these people's goals, and this colliding, clashing, and movement of goals and desires and motives is what creates plot, and plot creates story. That's the key to good writing. Most people don't remember that anymore. All right, so I'll take 2 more questions, and then I'm going to call it there. I went way longer than I thought I would.
Oh, hey, when you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
True enough. True enough. True enough.
Okay.
True enough.
Raven, you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Death. You've told us several times. We appreciate you coming back.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Death.
He's still trying to get royalties for the diary.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I kind of figured that was the motivation here, but, you know.
Raven, when is the Christmas album coming?
Christmas album?
Didn't you know you were a great musician?
I am not a great musician. I'm not a great singer.
Yeah. Well, then again, we did say that our best, like, the only time we really sounded somewhat okay singing was Christmas hymns. You know, God rest ye merry gentlemen.
That is true.
Indeed. Hey Raven, I want to finish my story, but I don't know where to start. I have the entire story in my head to the last detail, but I don't know in what medium to make it or how to do it except drawing them. Any tips?
That is out of my hands. If you've got the whole story planned out and you know exactly what you're going to do with it, the medium is up to you. Only you know what you are fully capable of. I mean, I guess the best advice I could give is write out the outline. And as you look at it, decide what medium you think you could better handle it in. Do you want to write it out and write out the story as a manuscript? Or do you want to try sketching out the characters and see if you prefer drawing them? Like, that's kind of your call. Like, I can't tell you how to start a story. I can give you advice on how to craft or construct the story. I can't tell you how to start a story. All right. Because if I tell you how to start the story, now it's my story, and I'm going to do what I want with it. That's why people say, how do I start this? Okay, well, can I do with the characters what I want? Well, no, they're my characters, then I can't start it. Because if I start it, I am deciding the direction of the characters. It's kind of like, and trust me, this isn't a bash on nannying or babysitting. But it's kind of like when a parent who doesn't want to take care of their kid just leaves them with a nanny or babysitter all the time and never takes care of them. At what point does the kid no longer associate the mother or father as their mother and father and better connects to the nanny or babysitter? You know, at a point, they've got to become your children. And you've got to have a hand in crafting where they end up. Because then you can't complain when the babysitter or nanny is far more attached to these kids, or their kids are far more attached to the nanny or babysitter than you are. You know, that's what it comes down to. Okay, any last questions? Anything else that I need to cover?
Okay, they're asking if you've seen the Christmas Truce from Sabaton.
Yes, I saw that. That was awesome. Very cool song.
All right.
A little historically inaccurate at some points, but still awesome.
Still, yeah, we still enjoyed it. All right, let's see. Okay, this is kind of goofy, but it's still kind of fun.
Okay, last question then.
Okay, what's more terrifying force, a Shugoki drop attack or a planetary exterminatus?
Well, the silly answer is obviously the Shugoki, but being serious, it's an exterminatus. But the nice thing about an exterminatus is you have to, unless an Inquisitor's behind it, you have to go through so much red tape just to get the exterminatus to happen.
Well,
a Shugoki can just, you know, do a cannonball.
Well, the thing is, what you're forgetting here is that a Shugoki, like, they're actually the same thing. It's just when it depends on the height the Shugoki is dropping from. If the Shugoki drops from orbit, it's an exterminatus.
Correct.
But if it's just from a bridge, just a tactical nuke.
Correct. All right, but I think that's everything. Unless anything else came
One
up.
more. Is Ruth and For Honor the equivalent of a Norman?
She's based on Norman identity. Ruth is a girl born in Valkenheim who was adopted by the Knights and became a warden. Normans, or the Norman Knights, were Nords who converted to Christianity and some of whom became Knights. They weren't necessarily adopted by the Knights and then raised into it. They were just a culture that converted and became knightly. So it's not exactly the same. Like, for example, you probably wouldn't see a story like Ruth's in actual history. You probably wouldn't see a bunch of knights take pity on a little kid and say, "Come with us, we shall make you a knight." You know, that probably wouldn't happen. But, yes, it is true that Nords who converted to Christianity became the Normans. So that is true. All right, I think that's it. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll be honest, I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'll try to release an update video on Monday to tell you guys what I'm planning to do with next week. There will be a stream. It just might be Monday or late Thursday. I'm gonna try, guys, and I'm gonna try to release some more videos too. I'm gonna try to release a video next week. I don't know how. I'm gonna be so busy. It's gonna be so out of this world crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Keep me in your prayers, guys. Just keep thinking about me. You know, pray that this works out. I'm gonna talk to my manager tomorrow and hope that we can work something out. I don't have high hopes because quite often when they make your schedule, it's set in stone. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my absolute best because I know that next week is going to be absolutely insane. But again, keep me in your prayers, guys. I promise I'll bring some more stuff to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed Ruth. And for those of you asking if your characters can interact with Ruth, I don't mind. But shoot it by me before you create it so that I can make sure it fits Ruth's character. Okay? All right. Anyway, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And if you enjoyed the video and you're watching it later than the live stream, leave a like and a comment down below with your thoughts and what you enjoyed about the video. If you enjoyed my rants and you want to hear more of them, tune in for my other streams where I tend to go into at least one rant. You got 2 or 3 tonight, which was kind of awesome. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, whenever that is. Take care.
Have a good night, guys.